themselves, largely also with a Lynx. The RAF used to have, I forget whether it was a 2 or 3 ship team before my time, called very imaginatively the Gazelles. And so it's always been a great display machine, and those days are rekindled by the civilian. And here they come. Returned to its manufacturer Hawker for repairs. Later on it served again with the RAF before being dispatched to the Soviet Union to continue its operational career. Running in the Hawker Hurricane 1. So, final pass for the Hawker Hurricane 1.
Jack.
Rotary Aviation, was dating from the 1950s helicopter of today. Thinking back over the years, I think many of us can remember the Black Cats as a two-ship. Very much loved display. Haven't been able to do that for a while. Indeed, they haven't been able to offer a solo aircraft every year, so it's a delight to welcome them back. We mentioned at the start we were hoping to have the earlier generation Lynx here. Unfortunately, that was one of the aircraft that we lost on the way in to the show. But what a great sight this is on the right-hand side. Something you don't see nearest to you, and then slightly further over, the much smaller was. Of its, I think it's fair to say, its characteristic manoeuvre, the nose over. There are two versions of the Wildcat in service with the UK Armed Forces. This is the Naval Wildcat HMA-2, and there's also the Wildcat AH-1, which serves with the Army Air Corps. Unlike its predecessor, the Lynx, both versions have a wheeled undercarriage for shipborne operations. The decision was taken with the new Wildcat when it was developed to give them all wheeled landing gear. So important when you're pushing this aircraft around, very small helicopter landing pads on the sterns of frigates and destroyers. Here you see a kind of spiral loop
Those of you that remember back to the links with the Black Eagles will remember the amazing backflip. I really like that manoeuvre from the Black Cat. You will see it again a little bit later on towards the end of its display. It's a kind of look with a twist in it as well. Very, very effective. As the aircraft comes back in front of you, you can clearly see the kind of growth on its nose right at the front of the aircraft. That is the NX Westcam electro-optical device. It carries a range of sensors, including a very, very high-powered camera, able to detect targets at very long range, both day and night, in any weather condition.
And as with any platform, the Wildcat's capabilities have been developed significantly since it entered service. Is the 100th anniversary of what became the Royal Auxiliary Air Force, but it wasn't the only reserve component, was it, Andy? There was also the RAF Volunteer Reserve.
Indeed, yes. And of course this aircraft has a big link with that.
Yes, because two Catalina pilots who were assigned to RAF Coastal Command during World War II were awarded the Victoria Cross, in both cases 80 years ago this year, in 1944. He should have received it 75 years ago.
And in fact, talking to some of the crew this morning, they're going to visit him next week. How lovely.
Yes, indeed, he's been able to see this Catalina, I believe, on various previous occasions. This aircraft painted in the colours of another very notable Catalina, an OA-10A rescue aircraft used by the US Army Air Forces in Britain at the very end of World War II in the European theatre. The 8th Air Force had wanted to set up an air-sea rescue service with Catalinas rather earlier than that to look for downed airmen, particularly in the North Sea, in the Channel. They hadn't been able to because Catalinas were in such demand elsewhere. They then got all of this with the two Eurojet EJ200 turbofan engines in afterburner, and he'll now be accelerating the aircraft to somewhere in the region of 600 knots, coming down to his minimum display height of some 100 feet for a high-speed pass.
Vapour spilling off the wings there as turbo pulls just about 9G in a very tight turn.
course, he's wearing a full-body G-suit, and that, combined with pressure breathing, allows him to withstand these manoeuvres, many of which are being conducted at 9G, meaning his body weighs some 9 times normal. One of the harder manoeuvres to fly. It's very easy to just drop the second half a little bit too quick, but Turbo doing an excellent job there. You can see the bright lights from the reheat on the rear of the aircraft. Just a little burst there as he repositions around for the next pass. He joined the RAF in 2010.
Numerous operational deployments, including Operation Shader.
You can hear the gearboxes working just that little bit harder as they cater for the extra weight. The Chinook is famous worldwide, not only for its ability to carry 3 underslung loads simultaneously, but also its load carrying capacity, both externally and internally. In today's configuration, the aircraft can carry an incredible 6 additional tons of freight and still achieve an impressive range of 300 miles. The team now possesses personnel based out of RAF Benson in Oxfordshire. Formed in 1982, they primarily work with our UK support helicopters, including the Chinook, Puma and Merlin, providing specialist helicopter landing site reconnaissance and the movement of essential supplies by internal and external load.
From the left. So you can now see the jets are slowing down as they will perform a gear on behalf of all the team for the warm welcome we've had here. Aircraft will return to Wellington Air Base, and air crews will be joining after a 3-hour drive, but maybe at the end you'll be able to meet them. Just a little hint, if there is a Chinook on the airfield, crisis response exercise held at both RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland and also RAF Hoddington in Suffolk. It is now time to look to your left-hand side. What a glorious sight this is. The Royal Air Force Mobility Force, a pair of A400M Atlas aircraft. aircraft, then Training Command, wasn't keen on the aircraft's colour scheme nor on the team name. The decision was taken for 1965 to form just one official Royal Air Force aerobatic team. Prior to that, there had been different Premier teams every season, and that was the birth of the Red Arrows. Their first display on the net took place at a press event at RAF Little Rissington on the 6th of May 1965. Their public debut took place 9 days later at the Biggin Hill Airfair. At that stage, Lee Jones, the leader of the Yellow Jackets, was still racing the leader, and it was a 7-ship formation. Across the frontier by Canadian nationals before being flown to their bases, but running in now from the right with smoke on, the AT-6D. On the circuit when Rich Goodwin first introduced it in the mid-2010s. Of course, since then he's gone even further with his jet pits, which you might have seen in one of the hangar displays here. But this is an aeroplane of absolutely exceptional capability. A 6-cylinder, 8.5-litre engine delivers an amazing power-to-weight ratio. As we saw there, as the aircraft very nearly came to a hover. But now diving to build up speed and energy. Making full use of the in excess of just one man in the cockpit. It's very much a team effort, and the work done behind. Again, he snap rolls into a yawing turn to the left. And this time, when he pulls vertical, he slow rolls the aircraft in the vertical up to the apex. He pulls it through, and then multiple snap rolls coming up on the 45-degree down line. And bringing it in to give you a wonderful view of the colour scheme of the GR1 Strike Aircraft Force. He comes from an RAF background. His late father, Ken Goodwin, was a fantastic exponent of display aerobatics in the Hawker Hunter and the English Electric Lightning, and he's followed. Look at this. This is really low-level knife edge. Nice burst, radial engine sound. I like it very much. 1944, in total 1,350 B-17s were available for operations, and they were heavily involved that very special morning, attacking early.
a true swing roll machine. It's capable of conducting air-to-air, air-to-ground missions, electronic warfare and intelligence gathering simultaneously. It doesn't have to land and have to rearm different weapons, different fits. It can do all these missions all at the same time in a single sortie.
All of the UK's F-35 squadrons are joint RAF and Royal Navy. The commanding officer and the senior pilot alternate between the services, and the latest operational squadron on the type is a Navy squadron, 809 Naval Air Squadron, which reformed last December. An operational platform. The first carrier strike group with the new carrier, HMS Queen Elizabeth, took place, or deployment by that group took place in 2021, and its first use of operations against Daesh over Iraq and Syria. And since then, the F-35Bs have been flown on long-range missions as part of our response to the Ukraine conflict, integrating with Typhoons and other NATO assets. And our fleet of these aircraft is now up to 34 after the latest deliveries this March, and full operational capability for the Lightning forces due in 2025, and that'll be when the 48th aircraft is delivered. And HMS Prince of Wales will of course be joining Queen Elizabeth as the second carrier. But look at this, for a high alpha, high angle of attack, nose high pass. Now, and in the future it's intended that F-35s will be able to operate as part of a team with uncrewed platforms, UAVs basically, of one type or another, and this goes not just for...
It's what we call a low boom ships.
Operate in this